couple of years ago, I received a comment suggesting I was not a real toy YouTube channel because there were no toys in the background of my videos. Well, first of all, I don't want to be just a toy channel. There's a lot more to the 80s and indeed life than just toys. But second of all, check this out, motherfucker. Welcome back, and I do apologize for that rather crude introduction, but that comment did get really under my skin and has bothered me for a number of years. The fact was, I was living in a New York basement apartment with no room to display anything. Well, things have changed, and now I have not one but two rooms to display my collection. So first up, we will start with what I'm calling the music room, and don't worry, there will be toys to look at. So before we go into the music room, I'm just going to address something that I did mention in a very early video sometime this year, where I said my intention was to get this internal window covered in a stained glass tiger to somewhat represent or replicate Elvis Presley's music room. Well, sadly, that was way too expensive. But second of all, I just realized that when sitting watching TV, I can glance over and look in, so I kind of like it being clear like this. But once we go in, I will then show you around the walls and then give you the whole sort of cabinet tour, shelf by shelf. So obviously, with it being music, we have some guitars, and there's effects, keyboards, speakers. Now what's missing right here is a computer. I ordered the Mac, I think 4 weeks ago, and they said it would take 4 to 5 weeks. Well, they then called last week and said, oh, sorry, it's going to be a further 4 weeks. So no music before Christmas, but we can get by with that. Now, a quick glance at the walls. I will go through everything piece by piece. So first of all, we have the Super 7 Iron Maiden 3 3/4 inch figures. And these really are quite fantastic. Now, in terms of the figures themselves, these are basically the same as Kenner's Star Wars figures, 5 POA. But for this line, it's all about the card backs, so that's why I did not open these, because these look quite fantastic on the cards. Beneath that, an Elvis Presley calendar. We have a signed Kirk Hammett of Metallica poster where he presented the Black Cat movie at Grauman's Chinese Theatre on Hollywood. And there is Kirk's signature, more of that to come. This was Jason Newsted's solo band, met them and the band signed that. This poster of Anthrax, I got invited to be in the studio for the recording of the Greater of Two Evils album. We'll see that again shortly, but the band signed that poster. Underneath is all 5 original Duran Duran members. This was the booklet for the Astronaut CD. Got to meet them. I think it was actually HMV in Times Square of all places. Again, met Duran Duran another time. The 4 remaining members signed that. This is probably one of my most prized possessions. Poster signed by none other than Dimebag Darrell, and there is the photograph of him and I, which I think was 2003, so that's 21 years ago. Now, this is interesting. This is not meant to be here. This is 3 generations of putters. So we have my grandfather's putter, my father's, and mine. And then I thought, to kind of round this display out, let's get some vintage golf balls. So that's like a 1960s, maybe 70s, Dunlop 65, smaller size, of course, which my grandfather played. My father played Pinnacle, and I played Titleist. So I have all 3 generations of putters. I need to get that put into a display at some point. This is the Lego Batman cowl from the TV show. And then we have my sort of music books, reference books, Star Trek, Star Wars, Transformers, etc., my Batman books. These are the annuals that I salvaged from my parents' house. And all these music books are indeed signed by the artists, in some cases addressed to me. This is the Duran Duran 7 and the Ragged Tiger, signed by the band, although there's so much glare, it's kind of hard to see this. Another Kirk Hammett item, met him in a Barnes & Noble in Manhattan, actually. His horror collection, signed by him. That was the popcorn bucket I got in Thailand. I forget the movie, I didn't actually see it, I just wanted the popcorn bucket. And I've kept these because I did enjoy the Big Bang Theory, and the Star Trek crossover was quite nice. And there's a Star Wars sign. And then up here, we have my Lego Elvis Presley. This thing was a real pain in the ass to build. They could produce an Iron Maiden or a Duran Duran portrait. I will never buy another one of these. These really are the most boring builds there is. Now we have some Super 7 Ghost figures up here, some of which are glow in the dark. And these are all pretty cool, much like the Iron Maiden figures. It's almost a case of the artwork is as good as the figures themselves. And there's like a specialist ghost bill. And up top, over the door, we have the crucifix figures. This one is glow in the dark. The rest are kind of standard, but they are very unusual card backs. Then up top we have the 4 Kiss posters that got signed in person at Jones Beach Arena back in, I believe, 2012. We will come back to that experience. Now in the first cabinet we have the Knucklebones Dimebag Darrell statue. In fact, I should probably open these doors for this, so give us a less glary view. So, Knucklebones Dimebag Darrell statue and a signed picture addressed to me by Dimebag, along with some of his guitar picks. And likewise, Knucklebones Zakk Wylde with a signed photograph, another signature, and more picks. I do love the Don't Fuck With Ozzy pick, that's kind of cool. Now Motorhead, we have a signed album by all 3 members. There's an Ace of Spades card, empty bottle of beer. This one is a Super 7 Ultimates Lemmy, that's a fabric t-shirt. This one, I don't recall who made it, but it's a pretty good likeness, so I'm not unhappy with that at all. A Lemmy Picton. This Jack Daniels coaster I stole from my golf club back in 1988, so that's been with me a long time. The time I met Lemmy, signed my ticket, and a bunch of Motorhead guitar picks. Then going down we have Iron Maiden, and we have all the different Iron Maiden beers that I have sampled over the years. There are a few that are still missing from my palette, but I can let that live. This is the NECA Iron Maiden Trooper figure, along with my signed, addressed to me by Nico McBrain, original Trooper single from '83. This, Somewhere in Time, Eddie, I think was NECA. I really don't know. A signed photograph from the reunited band. And this ticket was back in a time when, prior to Ticketmaster taking over, bands had nice sort of bespoke tickets that were available. This was Nico McBrain doing a drum tour, signed. Some Iron Maiden stamps from the UK, and the bottle caps from the Iron Maiden beer. So they actually gave us unique bottle caps that you could collect, which was kind of cool. This shelf is now Megadeth and Anthrax. So we've got a signed photo, David Elfson and Dave Mustaine. There was a Dave Mustaine. That was the pass I had on the World Needs a Hero tour. There's another David Ellefson signature addressed to me. And this pass was on, I think it was The System Has Failed, is that right? Or, I don't even remember now. Yeah, I think it was The System Has Failed tour, VIP. All my Megadeth picks, all the main members, like I haven't collected since they got rid of the sort of classic lineup. Anthrax picks, loads of these. I have met those guys so many times, it's ridiculous. But this is a classic In My World 7-inch single signed by the band. That was the free ticket to the show they did prior to the Big Four show. And as I mentioned earlier, when Anthrax recorded The Greater of Two Evils, I was in the studio. And I am in that picture. I will try and pinpoint my face, but I had Frankie Bello sign that at another time, and that was the pass for that one. This, I think, figure is from Biff Bang Pow. And this was bought in the last, I'm guessing, 12 to 15 years ago. And I've already had to glue it back together. It just fell apart. Absolute junk. Got the Time special 10-inch single, again signed by the band, and there's a Frankie Bello signed picture addressed to me. And on the bottom shelf, I've put all my sort of Japanese toys here because they have no place in my 80s room. So we have a collection of Kamen Rider. We've got some mint on card in the back there. We've got some nice 12-inch figures, some nice 6-inch figures. That's a Deadpool Wolverine cup. Went to see the movie, really enjoyed it. The Spider-Man I bought in Thailand. Not my Spider-Man, so he doesn't belong upstairs. And some Kamen Rider motorcycles. Now these stickers and Tazos were part of a giveaway in Thailand here, where if you bought certain boxes of chocolate wafers, you would get stickers and Tazos. So I kept them all from the best year ever. We got Gundam right here. I built that one. It's quite fun, but I'm not really into it. And of course, Ultraman. But that is my kind of homage to Japanese type toys. Not something I'll be collecting going forward, but when I first came to Thailand, I thought it would be fun to get hold of these things. They do look good, but I have no real emotional attachment to them. So on to the next cabinet now, and this is my Duran Duran shelf. So around the back, we have the Japanese versions of the albums and EPs that I managed to find in Thailand. You can tell the Japanese by these OBI strips. So I was thrilled to find these. And whilst this one, and this one seemed brand new, this one absolutely was. It was still sealed. So really happy to get hold of those. Now the only thing that is not vintage in this shelf would be the Funko Pops. And I'm ashamed to say that yes, I did buy myself some Funkos, simply because there are no other Duran Duran figures available. So we have Simon Le Bon, Andy Taylor, John Taylor, Roger Taylor, Nick Rhodes from the first album era, and the same again dressed in their Wild Boys costume. Now down here we have a complete set of Smash Hits 85 Duran Duran stickers. So we had the 5 band members along with 2 band lineup shots. Down here we have the first 5 albums on cassette along with the 2 side projects. So we have Duran Duran, Rio, 7 and the Ragged Tiger, Arena, and Notorious, along with Arcadia and Power Station. Now in the case of 7 and the Ragged Tiger, Arcadia, So Red the Rose, and Notorious, those are still sealed. The last two I'm not bothered about, but that price sticker is driving me insane. So at some point either that sticker will come off or the whole seal will come off. Not sure when. Now these puffy stickers were very much a part of the 80s. So we've got Duran Duran puffy stickers. This 7 in the Ragged Tiger is mine from childhood. And I do remember getting this in Oban, Scotland back in 1984. This is a sealed packet of the Topps Duran Duran cards, and that is just an example of the Duran Duran Topps cards. I do have a full set. I may have skimmed over them in one of the bookshelves. Now down below we have Adam and the Ants, which was the first album I ever got. So back in 1981, I think, for Christmas, I got Prince Charming on cassette, and I subsequently got the album on vinyl. But whilst in Thailand, I found the Japanese gatefold version with this fantastic gatefold with a truly awful Photoshop. But there's Adam Ant's signature. But this was my ruler that I used in 1981. It's rather faded, but this was mine from childhood, as are the two pin badges that I had back in 1981. And this Adam and the Ants annual was also mine as a child back in 83, which is kind of odd because by 83 he was a solo artist, not wearing makeup. So clearly the printers were a bit behind the times, but regardless, the shelf here is absolutely vintage with everything coming from the 80s. Now down below we have Ghost and Metallica. Now these are the Super 7 Ghost Ultimates of Papa Emeritus 1, 2 and 3. I do have 4 coming, I believe, in February. Now, another Funko Pops. I know what you're thinking. Well, let me explain. I had to make an order from Amazon recently, and I was a little bit short to get the free shipping, so I tried to find what I could get for something to build up the cost to qualify for free shipping, and this was, I think, $9, so I took it. The Ghost bills were from the last show I saw, which I think was maybe 2022, I forget. They have the sister as the face there. Now onto Metallica. Again, met Jason Newsted, so got a signed photo there, and there was my VIP pass for that. There's a Super 7 Cliff Burton. A Metallica Picton. Now this Starbucks gift card, I think Mrs. 88 gave me that, although I don't believe she paid for it, but anyway. There is some of Jason Newsted's picks, some Kirk Hammett guitar picks, and there is a signed Kirk Hammett figure as a zombie, and there's a series of Metallica guitar picks. Now on the bottom of this shelf, it's just kind of varied. So have some Iron Maiden cups I bought at a concert. I think that was the tour that they only played songs from the modern albums. Motley Crue opened for Kiss, so bought some cups there. The drum kit my parents gave me many years ago. Signed a CD cover from the band 6am. So it was Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue, DJ Ashba, and someone, I forget his name, Michael someone. Anyway, and there's some Nikki Sixx guitar picks. There's a signed sticker from Scott Ian, and this is a classic 80s, I was going to say boombox, but we used to call that a ghetto blaster. It's a Bluetooth speaker, but it's an absolute classic. Rex from Pantera signed that picture for me, and there's his guitar pick, along with a Pantera bottle opener that I got at last year's concert. Of course, Zakk Wylde played the part of Dimebag, and Charlie Benante played the part of Vinnie Paul. This is my first ever personal stereo. It survived. I don't believe it will still work because the battery compartment is slightly corroded, but that is my first ever personal stereo. And if you're wondering, The first cassette I ever played on this was Seven and the Ragged Tiger. Now this cassette is a bootleg of Wasp from the Edinburgh Playhouse in 1989, so I believe it was the Headless Children tour. I don't know how this stayed in my possession, but here it is. The band Hell Yeah that featured Vinnie Paul, he has signed this along with the other members. I believe some of them came from the band Mudvayne. Sebastian Bach, he has signed that CD cover. These are just some random guitar picks. We got Megadeth, Motorhead, Metallica. This one, Darth Vader, trying to avoid the shadows here, is kind of cool, but I think this was the other guitar player in Black Label, whose name I shall not reveal because I think he became a bit of a pedo, but the pick is actually quite cool, and that's a big 4 pick. So I saw that show at Yankee Stadium. Now onto sort of Volbeat. So there's Rob Caggiano. At the time he was in Anthrax, he then joined Volbeat and got that signed by the whole band. Volbeat badge and some Volbeat picks, and of course to tie in with Volbeat we got the Elvis TCB, and there's a Johnny Cash figure. Now onto the last cabinet. This is mostly the McFarlane Elvis figure, so we got the whole sort of history of Elvis in I guess 6-inch form, courtesy of McFarlane. And then this one is a Mattel 12-inch doll. I'm guessing being Mattel, it's kind of like probably based on Ken. I've got some postcards back here that bizarrely my father-in-law in Thailand gave them to me. I don't know where he got them, but I kind of like them. This, I believe, is from Funko, and these are Pez dispensers. Now down below, we have my empty bottle of Elvis whiskey, very good whiskey, a portrait I bought at Graceland, postcard from Graceland. This is Matchbox collection of Elvis cars, and beneath that are Jada's versions of his most iconic Cadillacs. Postcards from Graceland. The CD came with the Pez that I opened. Now we of course can't forget the old TCB metal logo. A couple of sealed packs of Elvis cards. Again TCB. TCB everywhere from Graceland. This is a sealed box of the same trading cards as these. This was our VIP pass to Graceland a couple of years back. Guitar tin of mints, my famous TCB glass. There's like a hologram of Graceland, more TCB, and more guitar picks, and of course a TCB coin. Now underneath we have Kiss. So these are from Figures Toy Company, and I got these simply because in 2012 Mrs. 88 and I got to meet Kiss. So we went to the show at Jones Beach on a VIP ticket. So they gave us like a lenticular ticket, regular ticket, meet and greet band, meet and greet pass. We got our photograph with the band. We got given a lot of guitar picks. And in order to buy that ticket, I had to be a member of the Kiss Army. And for the record, I am no longer a member, but this was a wonderful day and a truly, really good money for value, or value for money, I should say, experience, because back then VIPs were not costing what they cost these days. Following that tour, 7-Eleven did special cups for the Big Gulp or Super Big Gulp. So I've got them. That was one of the albums I got signed by the band at Jones Beach. A lenticular, I don't know if it's working or not in the camera. For the Monster album, I got a lenticular ticket back in 2010. This one was given to me by a friend. There's some Kiss Pez, some Kiss incense, Ace Frehley's album signed by him, a couple of his picks, Kiss patch. some Kiss wristbands, and more Kiss picks. But that kind of concludes the music room. So I hope you enjoyed that look. And I'm sure most of you are dying to see the toy collection, which is upstairs. So let's go up and see what that has to offer. And as I come up the stairs, I will give you a quick glimpse at Mrs. 88's collection. She has a lot of things like Disney, Pink Panther, Harry Potter, and more sort of Disney Mickey Mouse. Here are my old golf trophies, last of which I won back in '91, so clearly I'm not really a great golf player, but behind this door is the collection room. So let's go in, I'll give you a swing around, and then I will go through each shelf piece by piece. So this is the kind of general view, but up over the door, I have Darth Vader and Boba Fett. These were like light up masks that Mrs. 88 gave me. And this is a picture of one of the Macquarie concept shots. And I should add as well, in this video, there will be a lot of things that were given to the channel. I'm not going to give any name calls because I'm liable to forget someone, and I just don't want to do that. But if you sent something in, please understand that it's greatly appreciated. So this is my little desk here and my calendar, and there is the TIE Fighter, but that is THAI. So I'm going to start with the Batman cabinet because I've done this already. I'll go over this quite briefly here. So we got, I think it's NECA's 18-inch scale. In the back we have Mattel's Barbie, Batman, Catwoman, Beast Kingdom, Batman and Robin, Mars Toys, basically Hot Toys, but Mars Toys, Joker, Hot Toys, Batman, Robin, classic Mego 13-inch Batman, Mego's 40th or 50th anniversary Batman and Robin, Wacky Wobblers. And you have to understand, I'm holding this camera very high right now. All of this is Figures Toy Company's dolls, which was a really good series. They did a lot of the villains. Aaron gave us Chief O'Hara, Mad Hatter, Shame. The McFarlane I've not done yet. Now this is the McFarlane DC Retro line. Pretty much the whole thing. I've enjoyed it, but these figures are a real pain in the ass to display because they always want to fall over. Not a fun line to display. It's fun to collect, but it ain't fun to display. Underneath we have a bunch of Hot Wheels and a couple of imitations, shall we say, of Batmobiles. All there. This is the Mattel's Batusi TV set. Now I am trying to avoid glare here, but this was a really cool set. It plays music and there's a button on the back that makes Batman's arms dance. That is Mattel's 6-inch scale Batmobile. These figures are the Funko reaction up until Catwoman. Pretty good figures actually. I really do like these figures. These were the M.a.s.k figures that came with the Batcave set. As I said in the last video, that Batcave is in the garbage somewhere in Brooklyn. McFarlane's Multiverse Batman, really good figure. NECA's 6-inch Batman, terrible figure. And then Mattel's line of figures. Really good figures, good quality, good value for money. Of course, we have Batman and Robin climbing the wall there, along with a couple of surfboards. Going down, McFarlane's Wayne Manor Library, where I can already see that Alfred is now falling backwards. As I said, these figures do not stand up well, and I had to make that Bruce Wayne myself. The Batcave with Batman and Robin, and supposedly Alfred as Batman. The Villain's Lair, really good play set with all four major villains. We have some sort of statues here. Batman, Robin, Surf's Up Batman, complete with Rubber Shark, Diamond Select busts. Iron Monkey, I believe, did the Surf's Up series. These are some more Funkos. And a really nice set that was given to me by Mrs. 88, Forever Yours. So down here, we have probably the best part, and it's so much glare, I do apologize for this. This is a signed photograph from Burt Ward and Adam West. Oh my God, the glare is killing me here. That's the trouble with using lights. Anyway, Ben Cooper mask from the late 70s, 80s, Bat Belt from Mattel, Batarang Mattel, NECA's props, Bat Radio, Batgirl walkie-talkie, and Bat cuffs. Cards from the McFarlane figures. These cards are from Mattel's figures, and these cards are from McFarlane's figures. We got the Batcave set. We got some Hot Toys, sort of statues, some other statues, don't know who made them. A Hallmark Funko Pop decoration, more sort of statues. We got Bendhams, we got a lunchbox, we got money boxes. We have, I guess they called them swingers. They're solar powered. If you turn them on, the bodies move. Classic Batman mug, pencil and eraser. Very strange elongated figures. We got Jerry as the Joker, Tom as Batman. We got some classic candy sticks. We got magnets. We got some wonderful vintage key rings, and these are indeed from the 60s. Now finally, we have the vehicles. So we have the Batboat, the Batmobile, Jokerized Batmobile with a Joker, and the Batcycle from McFarlane. We have, I think this is a Jada, but the rest of these are all Hot Toys. And again, I'm going over this fast. There's another video on this. We've got some random vehicles featuring various characters, more Jadas, even a pink Batmobile. That in the back there is the M.a.s.k Batmobile. That's Jada's finest, but the best Batmobile ever is from Hot Wheels. Some miniatures. In the back we have the Lego Batmobile along with a collection of 3 Batgirl Cycle, Batmobile and Batcycle. This was the Funko Reaction Batmobile. Up here I think were Eagle Moss mailaways with a magazine. Batmobile, Batboat and another Batmobile. But this is where it all began for me with Corgi and Corgi Jr. So we have everything loose that Corgi produced for Batman back in the day. We've got the Batcopter, Batboat on trailer, Batmobile, and in the back we've got the Batman on Batcycle and the Penguin in the Penguinmobile, and then in the Juniors line we've got the Batmobile with the trailer and Batboat, Batcopter, Batcycle, and Jokermobile and Penguinmobile, and then a couple of sealed items, the Batcopter, Batmobile, Jokermobile, and Penguinmobile. So now we've finished the Batman case. I thought I could do this whole thing without AC, but honestly, that is the most important part of this whole room is the AC. So I've now turned it on. So now we can look at the Star Wars figure shelf. So actually, hopefully you can see this because I have this fully extended in my arm. We have my carded Star Wars figures. Now some are real, some are customs, clearly. But I do like just having a few of these because, as you know, I'm mostly out of box kind of guy. So this is my loose Star Wars figure collection. Let me just try and get this all in shot. And I've done this as best I can by sort of separating it by when characters first appeared in the movies. Now, I know I'm not exactly accurate. It's the best I could do based on my memory. And again, I am seeing some glare from the lights. I do apologize for that. But trust me, when you stand in here in person, you will see all these figures in all their glory. But I really do like how this thing turned out, because this was a dream of mine as a kid. I would look at those card backs and dream of, as they said, collect them all. Well, finally I did. And to see them like this makes me incredibly happy. So that is my complete Star Wars figure loose collection. Now underneath that, I have the vehicles and playsets I enjoyed as a kid. Now, yes, I did not have the Tantive 4 playset as a child. That is from Hasbro. But these Stan Solo Rebel Fleet Troopers had to be displayed in this manner. And with a few Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, we have Princess Leia sort of jumping out the doors there. Fantastic. Again, Stan Solo's Banthas and Baby Bantha, and the Greedo Speeder. The Land Speeder, now I do have a proper Kenner vintage speeder, but it's broken, and I had this one also. This one is not broken. This one looks way, way better. So I've got Luke, Obi-Wan, and the two droids in the back being confronted by the Stormtrooper. We've got some Jawas selling their wares there, some sand people honking away. We have the classic Kenner white Stormtrooper with a TIE Fighter pilot flanked by a couple of Stormtroopers. In the back, we've got Darth Vader's TIE Fighter pursuing Luke Skywalker's TIE Fighter. Now this one is a custom I made, where clearly I took the head of the original Luke, put it on an X-Wing pilot, and used a vintage collection helmet. The two other figures there are from CFCB Unlimited. Now on to Empire Strikes Back. We have a whole sort of Hoth scene going on here. So we've got Luke and his land speeder, his snow speeder, which is getting fueled by Chewbacca and a rebel soldier in the back. We've got Luke on a Tauntaun with a blue lightsaber. We got the radar dish. We got more rebel soldiers. We got the rebel commander inside the MLC-3. Laser cannon with a Hoth Stormtrooper. And we even got Bosk in his Cap 2. So all kind of based around Empire Strikes Back. And to conclude Empire Strikes Back, we have sort of a Cloud City section. So we've got the Cloud Car, couple of pilots. We've got Lando up there keeping his eye on things. We've got the bounty hunters underneath, and there's Luke. I don't know why Yoda's on his back, but he's battling Vader in that kind of dream sequence on Dagobah. And we go down to Return of the Jedi. So we have the Max Rebo band. We've got Jabba's palace with all the goons and Slave Leia, all that good stuff. We have the Emperor arriving in his shuttle now. I don't have the proper shuttle. I have the, I think it's ISP-6. So I used that, and I guess sort of depth perception will give you the impression he has come off of that and has been greeted by a bunch of Stormtroopers along with a couple of Imperial Guards. We have the Ewoks kind of battling the biker scouts there, along with Han in his trench coat, a couple of rebel commandos. And to round things out, we have the glow-in-the-dark versions of the Force Ghosts, which do indeed glow in the dark. Now, under all of this, we have a continuation of Star Wars. So I have a very small M.a.s.k collection, as you can see here. And then we have some Stormtroopers. The first one was a Bandai model kit I made whilst here in Thailand. And then we have See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil, a couple of vintage Star Wars stamps. That is the metal figures. I guess it was Bandai or Takara, I forget, but I bought that in Thailand. That's a classic Kenner diecast snow speeder, which I had as a child. The R2-D2 scooter was something I bought here. That's a classic Kenner Han Solo blaster, one of the best toys I ever had as a kid. The X-Wing Mrs. 88 bought me. I don't know who made that. The TIE fighter in the back there I bought in Thailand. Boba Fett Lego helmet. We got the Mandalorian. Then we have some Star Wars stamps, some Topps cards. I have a whole stack of these cards, but I can't display them all. But in the back we have the 12-inch vintage Stormtrooper, a Darth Vader I bought here in Thailand, clearly knockoff, but that's a Hot Toys Boba Fett, and C-3PO and R2-D2 are the classic Kenner 12-inch line, and these do look indeed fantastic. Now, next up is my space Lego collection, which I did showcase in a previous video, so I'll go over this quite quickly. But this is something I really do enjoy seeing, because I did love space Lego as a kid, and seeing all these sets built up in the one place is something that never happened when I was a kid. So seeing it now does indeed make me very happy, and this is one of my favorite parts of the collection. But now I will skip to the next cabinet, because the lower two shelves of both cabinets are somewhat connected. So I've now jumped over to what I call the 1970s doll shelf. So a quick pan across will show you that these are indeed toys from the 70s. So we have $6 Million Man, Oscar Goldman, Jamie Summers from the Bionic Woman range, Steve Austin, the Bionic Man, and Maskatron. And they all came, or, well, they didn't come, but I bought these specialized custom stands, which is just fantastic. Now in the back, the Lone Ranger rides again. This was the hidden or secret, the hidden gold mine, which was the set I had as a kid, along with the Lone Ranger figure. And I got the chance to buy Lone Ranger and Tonto in a lot, so I could not pass that up. So I got everything I had as a kid, plus the bonus of Tonto. And then this Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle, one of the best toys ever made, and I mean that. This was everything a kid in the 80s, or indeed the 70s, ever wanted in a toy. This did exactly what it said it would do, and it was the greatest fun ever, and I absolutely love the fact that I own this. The next up we have Palitoy's Action Man. So we have, I guess, 7 in total, but only 1 is actually complete. So when I was a kid, I would just mix and match the outfits, which is why I've done that here. So not everything you see here is exactly out of the box, but the only one that is complete is the Space Ranger. And this was probably my favorite Action Man of all time. And to see this one again like this in such great condition, it really does put a smile on my face. But when I take a glance at the rest of them, I am just reminded of a wonderful time in probably, what, 79 to like 82, where Action Man really was the king of toys. And in the back, we have the sealed equipment center. Now, I bought this with the intention of opening it to use the boots, and once it arrived, I couldn't quite bring myself to do that, so it survived, and that has remained mint on card. Not something you often see on this channel, but this is the 1970s doll shelf. So next up from Kenner, we have M.a.s.k. Now this is the complete series of vehicles 1 and 2 with a spattering of series 3 vehicles. And I really do like this toy line, although it is slightly bittersweet for me in that it was the last toy line I ever collected, but to see them like this does indeed make me very happy. Now, in addition to the vehicles and original figures, we have the short M.a.s.k variant figures along with the CFCB Unlimited 3 3/4 inch figures, which look absolutely fantastic. These really do look the part, and I just wish I could have collected more of these, but you know, living in Thailand, I cannot buy American goods anymore. But these are really, really nice figures. Yes, they are 3D printed. Yes, they are fragile, but if you're putting them on display, they really do look quite good. And finally, we have the G.I. Joe, which was a special release, I don't know when, but they called this one Codename Specialist Tracker. So this was clearly Matt Tracker done in the G.I. Joe line, but that is my complete M.a.s.k shelf. And when I look at this, it does put a really big smile on my face because, like I said, last toy line I played with as a kid, 1986. I went into high school, and good memories, slightly bad memories given that it was my last toy line, but nevertheless, to see it all together is a wonderful thing. Now on to the Transformers. Now this is a shelf I need to really work on. This is an absolute mess. As you can see, everything is way too close to each other. And I've always maintained less is more. Well, for whatever reason, I just crammed this in. Next time I do a room tour, this will be very different because this is not a good look. There's just way too much plastic in here, and it's really hard to distinguish anything. I really should have stepped back from this. Sure, I have most of wave 1, wave 2, some wave 3, but even I'm not happy with how much stuff is crammed together here, so I need to work on that. Now, aside from the G1s, I have a Lego Optimus Prime. I have a complete original Optimus Prime with trailer, which I never transform because it's so fragile. Again, another Bumblebee. These, the Megatron and Bumblebee are from Takara, along with the badge. Now this pencil was mine as a child. It somehow survived. I had a full stationery set. Don't know where the rest of it went, but this pencil survived. These are a couple of the Japanese cards that came with the Pop Mart blind box that you can see on the shelf up there. We have the either Dollar Tree or Dollar General cheap American toys, along with the sealed on card that I bought from Five Below, and I believe these were the last things I bought in America. The name has just escaped me. No, Jada. Jada made the oversized Optimus Prime truck and the standard size, and that Optimus Prime came from a model kit that I believe was YOLO Park, but that is my Transformers shelf. So now we're really getting into my two favorite shelves. So this shelf, which covers this cabinet and the next one, is my film, TV and cartoon memories of the 80s. So we have the Pink Panther from Corgi Juniors, along with the Bendy that I did indeed have as a kid. We got Morph from the Tony Hart show. We got some Scooby-Doo there, including the Corgi. The Mr. Men pencil toppers are from my childhood, as is the Paddington Bear. We got some Battle of the Planets. We got Kojak from Corgi, and of course Corgi Juniors, same with Starsky and Hutch. We got the cartoons of Popeye, Yogi Bear, Tom and Jerry, Woody Woodpecker. We've got Charlie's Angels, we've got Bugs Bunny, we've got the Muppets. We've got Masters of the Universe. Those are Origins. Those are the only Origins I kept. I had everything up until, I guess, December of last year, and I said, I'm done with this. It became too hard to buy, and I said, I'm done. So I sold it all, but I kept those from my display. We got some, again, from the dollar store, some Masters of the Universe figures, and E.T., everything I had as a kid. So we got the E.T. and Elliot on the BMX, E.T. spaceship, Stuntcraft, and the E.T. keyring. The James Bond vehicles are all from my childhood collection, as is the Saint, Jaguar. Michael Knight's or Knight Riders walkie-talkies, again, these are my childhood versions. The Knight Rider car is a modern one that I got in Thailand. The Hulk, my sister-in-law gave me. We got a Corgi Shazam car. We have a Corgi Heroes pack. We've got Tom and Jerry as Batman. We got Wonder Woman statue. I think that was Diamond Select. We have some Peg toys from the 80s from Batman. We have the Corgi Juniors Wonder Woman. The Marvel van, all the Superman trucks and cars. The Captain America is from my childhood. We got the, well, they say candy sticks, but no, these are candy cigarettes. These are classics of DC promotional items. The McFarlane Superman is in the back there, but that is the Corgi Spider bike along with the Corgi Jeep with the Green Goblin in there. All of the Corgi Juniors, Superman, Spider-Man vehicles. We got a Spider-Man in TV that I got in Thailand. A wonderful retro Spider-Man carded. The rubber, or the eraser I should say, is from my childhood. I found that in my parents' house. And the Remco climbing Spider-Man, one of the best toys I ever played with as a kid. But as we continue the TV and film line, we then have Star Trek from Playmates. So we have the original Bridge Crew down here in, I guess, 4-inch form. And then they have the 9-inch dolls. And that culminates in the Arcturian from the motion picture, which was the only one Mego I ever had as a child. And then we have the Dinky Enterprise complete with the discs and the Galileo shuttle. This emblem, I think, came from Serial. I don't remember when, but we have also more Playmates, kind of role play toys, tricorder, communicator, and phaser. And then we have Playmates Transporter series figures. And we have, I mean, this series went as far to give us Nurse Chapel and Janice Rand. And these things were pretty cool. And the ironic thing was Hasbro tried to replicate this last year with their dumb Holocron series. But Playmates did it first. And finally, we have my Bill Shatner signed Mego figure. Then we have Dukes of Hazzard. So we have the Speed Jumper set with the 2 ramps and the brick walls and a perfect looking stunt car there. We have the finger racers, both that were available. And then we have, now I always get this mixed up. I don't know if this is Barn Busters or Stunt Busters. Either way, it's the barn that bursts open, which is absolutely wonderful. And the 2 wrist racers. And then we have the A-Team. So we have all the bad guys along the back along with the entire A-team up front. And once again, just to reiterate, that Amy Allen figure is one of the worst figures ever made. Now, for the A-team vans, I believe the big one came from Greenlight, which is quite modern, but this one is a Rough Riders 4x4, which did exactly what it said it would do, and that's a vintage Erdl, and the pencil sharpener is from my childhood, which was part of a stationery set, so I'm really glad to have that still. And now we're on to the last shelf, which I like to call a general 80s childhood. Now, in the back we have my original childhood grandstand Astro Wars, along with the mechanical toys I played with as a kid. So we got Munchman, Water Game, this LCD game again from my childhood, all of these puzzles and games from my childhood. Now clearly the Pac-Man light is modern, as is the Space Invaders, but Space Invaders was the first ever arcade game I played, so that deserves a place in this collection. Excuse me. Now, the Knights, the Cowboy, and the Ape and Tiger are from my childhood. Weeble, everyone loved Weebles as a kid. Parachute Man, everyone had Parachute Man. Pineapple Guy was a pencil topper from my childhood. The football boots are from my childhood, and I can tell you right now, I got those in primary 4 because I remember distinctly. And the pencil, which is a Bell's Whiskey pencil, I remember using also in primary 4. Now, Presto Magics, we all played with them. This is a Return of the Jedi version. Screwball Scramble, the last game, or the last toy in fact, I ever got in childhood. It was Christmas '86, I got this one, and that was the last toy I got until the mid-90s. You can probably see the classic Cap Rocket in the back there, and Wooly Willy, whilst not vintage, is very much something that I did play with as a child. Now all of these die-cast right here are from my childhood, and some really good memories associated with them. The Viewmaster. Now this Viewmaster belonged to my grandma, and within that box behind the Viewmaster are a bunch of discs from her travels, but also contained within are all the discs I had. So I got Star Trek, Batman, E.T. cartoons, so I still have those to enjoy. And I think I put out one of each, so I've got one disc of Batman, one disc of E.T. and one disc of Star Trek. Now these flying gliders are modern versions, but that was something that was very big part of my childhood. These dominoes were my childhood dominoes, and when I opened this box, when I went back to my parents' house in 2019, that's how they were. I've left them ever since. Now Mastermind, this belonged to my parents, but I would always look at the box and I would find the lady rather fascinating, and I guess things work out the way they work out, because here I am in Thailand, and she is as beautiful as she was back when I was like a 10-year-old kid. Now in the back we got more of these peg toys from Batman, but we have my original childhood pre-minifigure Lego sets. So we have the construction workers, the police force, the guy flying the airplane, and the Red Indians. It's very cool to see these. Now this one is interesting. These are Action Jack. And I believe if you grew up in the UK or Europe, chances are these were your first ever action figures. And then we have Fisher Price, Adventure People. We had all the sets I had as a kid. A wonderful toy line. These are my original childhood marbles, or some of them. I just picked out a few of my favorites to put on display. That is the GoBot, or as it turns out, the fake GoBot I had as a kid. That is a, I think, either Corgi or Matchbox tricycle. So the one without the rider is mine from childhood. I did buy a complete one. Evel Knievel came from Figures Toy Company. I just loved Evel Knievel, one of the best toy lines ever. And that was, at one time, a sealed Lego space set that I opened a few years ago. So now we're on to the last shelf where we have a bunch of Matchbox all lined up here, and on the back. Now, Matchbox, I think, were more fun than Corgi because, of course, they came in a box. So I have some of the ones I enjoyed as a child. I also have down here the burning key cars, the 5 winders. There is a Skeletrix car. This is a Corgi Lotus, I guess Formula 1 special that I did also enjoy as a child. In the back, that rather weird looking Beetle with a rather German looking look, again from my childhood. This Wrist Racer, again, I got that for my birthday, I believe in 1982. And we have some color changing Matchbox along with some modern interpretations of old 80s vehicles. Now down here we have the Britain's Soldiers, which I still maintain is one of the best toy lines ever. So we have from World War II, we have the Japanese, not World War II, we have the British paratroopers, but back there we have the US forces, the British forces, and of course the Germans. And we have something I had as a kid, which was the German motorcycle and sidecar, and on the back is the sort of submarine vehicle, which again I did have as a child. Now the first 3 Matchbox vehicles you see are indeed from my childhood. These are my personal items, although I did in recent years buy them again carded and in a box. And again from Matchbox, the Space 2000 was a wonderful line that I enjoyed as a kid. And there of course is the Matchbox burning key cars. That's the Countach sealed, but we also have it loose. And I don't know who made it, but in the back there is a yellow motorcycle that I really did appreciate, along with London Bus advertising TDK tapes. Now, in the back we got some sealed Action Force, along with some loose in the front. But all of these plastic soldiers are mine from childhood. So every one of those I played with for many hours back in the 80s. So to see them here makes me really happy. And in the front, I put a small selection of my Legoland toys out. So clearly we got a lot of emergency services, we got motorway breakdown, we got some knights in the back, and we got all sorts. We got a couple of trees and flowers. This was what I played with prior to getting into space Lego. Now in the back, in fact this is the last part, which is probably my favorite part, to be honest. This is a trip to the newsagent. So we have some classic collector's cards and stickers. So we got Duran Duran from Topps, Topps Star Wars, Topps Batman. We got M.a.s.k stickers, we got Panini Football, we got Garbage Pail Kids. We got some loose stickers, one of which is from my football team from like 1982, which was just incredible. We got a couple of wrappers here. One is from Spacers, or Pacers, I forget now. And the other one is called BMX Action Gum. Those were found in my Lego from childhood. Chances are these are from circa 1982-83, so I kept them on display. The new Coke can was a modern interpretation where Cola did a promotional box based on Stranger Things, but I just wanted it to get that can. But that to me is what it's all about. Stickers, gum, cola, but then we get the comics and magazines. Of the whole collection, this is my favorite part, and I'm sorry to say that if you don't agree, but to see these comics, this is like walking into a newsagent's in 1982. So we got Dandy, Beano, Transformers, Battle Action Force, Eagle, Star Wars Weekly, Lukin, Smash Hits, and on the back a couple of books you would buy in the newsagents. We got BMX Action Shots, BMX Action Book, and Asterix comic books in book form, which were little more than magazines. This whole section puts a real smile on my face because that is one of my greatest memories of the 80s. And to see everything on this shelf really does put a damn good smile on my face. So I hope you enjoyed that look at my collection, and bearing in mind this is version 1. Things may change over the years or even weeks, even months. But that's it for now. So if you did enjoy this, please do leave a like. Do make sure you are subscribed. And as always, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos from All Things 80s.